Imagine a world where everyone speaks a different language. It would be hard to understand each other, right? That's where people like Miguel come in. Miguel is from Guatemala, a country with beautiful mountains and a rich culture. He speaks both Spanish and English very well. Because of this, he has a very important job. He's an interpreter. An interpreter is like a bridge between people who speak different languages. They help them understand each other. Miguel works at the border where people come to America from all over the world. Many of these people only speak Spanish or another language besides English. Miguel is a friendly and helpful person. He wears glasses and always has a warm smile. He listens carefully and speaks clearly. He wants to make sure everyone feels welcome and understands what's happening. His job is to help people understand the rules and what they need to do when they first arrive. He makes sure they know where to go and who to talk to. He helps families stay together and feel safe in a new place. But Miguel's job isn't just about knowing two languages. It's about helping people in a very important way. He works for the Department of Homeland Security, or DHS. That's a part of the government that helps keep America safe and makes sure people who come here are treated fairly. Think of DHS like a team with many different jobs. Some people check bags at the airport. Others help people get their citizenship. And some, like Miguel, help people understand each other at the border. Miguel's job is especially important because he helps people who might be scared or confused. Imagine arriving in a new country where you don't know anyone and don't speak the language. It would be very overwhelming. Miguel helps to ease their worries. He explains important things about living in America, like the rules and laws. He helps them fill out forms and understand what they need to do next. He's a friendly face in a new and sometimes scary place. He is part of a team of people who are there to help. To do his job, Miguel needs special permission from the government. This permission comes in the form of a work permit. Think of it like a permission slip to work in America. The DHS, the very same team Miguel works for, gave him this permit. It's a small card with his picture on it, his name, and some important numbers. It says that Miguel is allowed to work as an interpreter and help people. It is proof that he has the government's okay to be doing what he is doing. Without this permit, Miguel wouldn't be able to work. It's like needing a driver's license to drive a car. The work permit shows that Miguel has been checked and approved to do his job. Miguel always keeps his work permit with him. He knows it's important. He keeps it safe in his wallet, right next to a picture of his family back in Guatemala. He's proud of his job and proud to have the permission to help people in this way. He earned it, and it is something he values. One day, the border was especially busy. Many families were arriving, hoping to start a new life in America. Children clutched teddy bears, and parents held important papers. The air buzzed with different languages and the sounds of tired travelers. Miguel was working hard, moving from one group to another, helping them understand what they needed to do. He translated questions and answers, making sure everyone felt heard and respected. He helped a little girl find her lost doll and reassured a worried mother that everything would be all right. The room was filled with long tables and chairs. People were filling out forms, talking to officers, and waiting patiently. Miguel felt good knowing he was helping to make this process a little easier for them. He could see the relief in their eyes when he explained things in their own language. He was working as fast as he could, trying to get to everyone who needed his help. The day was long and tiring, but Miguel knew his job was important. Suddenly, two officers wearing different uniforms approached Miguel. They weren't the same officers he usually worked with. These officers wore ICE uniforms. ICE stands for Immigration and Customs Enforcement. They're also part of the Department of Homeland Security, but they have a different job. "Excuse me," one of the ICE officers said, his voice stern. "We need to see your identification and work permit." Miguel was a little surprised, but he politely reached for his wallet. He pulled out his DHS-issued work permit and handed it to the officer. The officer looked at the permit closely, his face unreadable. He turned it over and examined it carefully. Then, he looked back at Miguel with a frown. "This permit isn't valid," the officer said. "You're going to have to come with us." Miguel's heart skipped a beat. He didn't understand. But this is my work permit. DHS gave it to me," he stammered, confused and worried. The other officer stepped forward, and Miguel felt a knot of fear tightening in his stomach. What was happening? Miguel tried to explain. He showed them the DHS logo on the card, pointed to his picture, and even offered to call his supervisor. But the officers wouldn't listen. They said the permit looked fake and that he needed to come with them to sort things out. He felt a wave of panic wash over him. He had done nothing wrong. He was just trying to help people. Why were they doing this to him? The officers took Miguel by the arms, and he felt a chill run down his spine. People around them started to stare. The families he had been helping looked confused and worried. Miguel felt ashamed and scared. He didn't want them to think he was a bad person. As he was led away, he kept repeating, "But I work here. I have permission." But his words seemed to disappear into the busy room, unheard. He felt helpless as he was taken away from the border intake area, leaving behind the people he was trying to assist. The whole situation felt like a terrible nightmare. News travels fast, especially in today's world. Other DHS agents who knew Miguel saw what was happening. They couldn't believe their eyes. They knew Miguel, they knew he worked there, and they knew his permit was real. Some of them pulled out their phones and started recording the arrest. Others quickly typed messages on their computers, trying to find someone who could stop this. They were confused and angry. Why was IC arresting one of their own? One agent, named Maria, quickly posted a message on a website where DHS employees share information. She wrote, "ICE is arresting Miguel. He's one of our interpreters. He has a valid DHS work permit. Someone needs to help him." Another agent, David, shared a photo he had taken of Miguel helping a family just the day before. He added the caption, "This is Miguel. He helps so many people. He doesn't deserve this." Soon, the news about Miguel's arrest spread like wildfire within the DHS community. People were sharing Maria's message and David's photo, adding their own comments and questions. The internet was buzzing with confusion and disbelief. The online posts about Miguel didn't just stay within the DHS. Someone shared Maria's post on a bigger social media website. Soon, people from all over the country were talking about it. So people were angry. They thought it was unfair that someone who was helping others was being treated this way. They wrote comments like, "This is wrong. Miguel is a hero," and "ICE needs to explain why they arrested him." Other people were confused. They didn't understand why two parts of the same government were fighting with each other. They asked questions like, why would DHS give him a permit if it wasn't real? And is there something else going on here? Some people even started making funny pictures and videos about the situation, showing how silly it was that one part of the government didn't know what the other part was doing. The internet was full of opinions and questions about Miguel's arrest. Everyone wanted to know what was going to happen next. The whole situation had become a big public mystery. The higher-up officials at DHS started to hear about the online uproar. They were surprised and concerned. They couldn't believe that one of their own interpreters had been arrested by ICE. It made the whole agency look bad. The head of DHS called a meeting. He wanted to know exactly what had happened. He asked his team to investigate and find out why Miguel had been arrested and why ICE thought his permit was fake. The investigators started by looking at Miguel's work permit. They checked their computer systems and found that the permit was indeed valid. It had been issued by DHS, and it was still active. So why did ICE think it was fake? They talked to the ICE officers who had arrested Miguel. The officers said they had received a list of fake work permits, and Miguel's permit was on that list. But where did that list come from? And why was Miguel's valid permit on it? The investigation was getting more complicated. The DHS officials knew they needed to find out the truth quickly and fix this mistake. After hours of investigation, the DHS officials finally found the answer. It turned out that there had been a computer glitch. A new software program was being used to track work permits, and it had accidentally flagged Miguel's permit as invalid. The list that IC received was wrong because of this mistake. It was a simple error, but it had caused a lot of trouble. Because of a computer glitch, Miguel had been arrested, people were confused and angry, and the whole government agency looked disorganized. The head of DHS was furious. He couldn't believe that something like a computer glitch could cause so much chaos. He ordered his team to fix the problem immediately and make sure it never happened again. He also knew that they needed to apologize to Miguel and explain what had happened. It was important to admit their mistake and make things right. The officials knew they had a lot of work to do to fix the situation and regain the public's trust. Miguel was still being held by ICE. He was scared and confused. He didn't know what was going to happen to him. He missed his family and worried about his job. Then, suddenly, the ICE officers came to his cell. "Miguel, we have some news," one of them said. "It seems there was a mistake. Your work permit is actually valid. You are free to go." Miguel couldn't believe his ears. He was finally going to be released. A wave of relief washed over him, but he was still shaken up. He asked them what had happened, but the officers didn't have many details. They just said it was a computer error. He was given his belongings back and let out of the ICE detention center. As he walked out into the sunlight, he took a deep breath. He was finally free, but the experience had changed him. He knew he would never forget what had happened. Even though it was a mistake, it was a scary one. He was happy to be going home. The next day, a high-ranking DHS official visited Miguel. He apologized sincerely for what had happened. He explained about the computer glitch and how it had caused the mistake. He told Miguel that they were very sorry for the fear and confusion he had experienced. "Miguel," he said, "you are a valuable member of our team. We appreciate the work you do to help people. This mistake should never have happened, and we are taking steps to make sure it doesn't happen again." He also explained that they had corrected the information in their computer system and that ICE had been notified of the error. He assured Miguel that he would not be arrested again. The official offered Miguel a letter of apology and a small gift as a token of their regret. He hoped that Miguel would understand that it was a mistake and that they valued him as an employee. He also thanked Miguel for his patience and understanding. The official promised to make things right. It took Miguel a few days to recover from the experience. He was still a little nervous and had trouble sleeping, but he knew that he couldn't let this mistake stop him from doing his job. He loved helping people, and he was good at it. So, after a week, Miguel went back to work at the border. He was greeted with smiles and warm welcomes from his colleagues. They were all happy to see him back and relieved that everything had been sorted out. He was a little hesitant at first, but as soon as he started translating for the families, he felt like himself again. He helped a young boy understand where to get his vaccination shots. He reassured an elderly woman that she would be safe in America. He helped a father fill out the necessary forms for his family. He realized that even though he had gone through a difficult experience, his job was still important. He was still making a difference in people's lives, and that was what mattered most. He went back to work with renewed determination. Miguel's story teaches us something important. It shows us that even big organizations like the government can make mistakes. It also shows us how important it is for different parts of the government to work together and talk to each other. If DHS and ICE had communicated better, Miguel might not have been arrested in the first place. It's like playing a team sport. If the players don't talk to each other, they might accidentally run into each other or miss a pass. It's also important to remember that everyone deserves to be treated with respect, no matter where they come from or what language they speak. Miguel was just trying to do his job and help people, and he didn't deserve to be treated like a criminal. Finally, Miguel's story shows us the power of speaking up when we see something wrong. The other DHS agents who posted about Miguel's arrest online helped to bring attention to the problem and get it fixed. It's important to stand up for what's right, even when it's difficult. This is important for everyone to do. Even after everything that happened, Miguel remained a hero. He didn't let the mistake change who he was or what he believed in. He continued to be a friendly face for people arriving in a new country. He kept helping families understand the rules and laws. He kept making a difference in their lives. He showed everyone that even when bad things happen, it's important to stay strong and keep doing what's right. He was a role model for his colleagues and for the people he helped. People at the border began calling him Super Miguel because he was always there to help, no matter what. He even became a bit of a local celebrity. People would come up to him and thank him for his service. Miguel's story reminds us that heroes come in all shapes and sizes. They're not always people with superpowers or fancy costumes. Sometimes, they're just ordinary people who do extraordinary things. And Miguel, the friendly interpreter from Guatemala, was definitely one of those heroes. He helped people feel safe. And so, Miguel continued his important work at the border day after day helping people from all over the world start their new lives in America. He never forgot the mistake that had been made, but he didn't let it define him. Instead, he used it as a reminder to always be kind, helpful, and understanding. He became an even better interpreter, always listening carefully and making sure everyone felt safe and respected. He knew that his words could make a big difference in someone's life, and he took that responsibility seriously. Miguel's story is a testament to the power of resilience and the importance of doing what's right, even when it's hard. He showed the world that even after facing adversity, it's possible to come back stronger and make a positive impact on the lives of others. So, the next time you see someone helping others, remember Miguel's story. Remember that even ordinary people can be heroes, and that even small acts of kindness can make a big difference in the world. Be like Miguel. Be a hero in your own way.